Oh my goodness. So it's changed quite a bit. Changed quite a bit.
It was scaring my mom.
Time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to mend. Hi.
Let's talk about it.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Good evening. It's time to talk about it. We're doing it without Zach tonight. So if it's not any good, we'll blame him. It's just that simple. Kenzie's not feeling well.
You blame him most days.
Well, it's easy. It's so easy to blame him. I mean, I've got stuff in my pockets and everything. I just kind of let's just lay that there. We've been working on cars today. Tried to work on a car today. They gave us the wrong part.
It's always something.
My truck's been out of commission for a couple of weeks. Now we found out that the last time we got the oil changed in Rachel's car, the guy did some damage to it and decided not to tell anybody. So when I went to get the oil changed today, as we're getting ready to go to prayer conference this next weekend, the guy says, "Is there a reason why this car is zip tied right here?" It's like, I don't know. I'm not a mechanic. Is it supposed to be zip tied there? And he goes, "No, and I got to get those moved." Anyway, we found out that the part of it's broke. So we tried, but the part that the part store gave us wasn't the right one, which is the story of my life. And that's okay. And I didn't realize it until we drove the... Anyway. Been one of them days. But hey, it's all over with now but the crime. We'll be done with this, and we got prayer conference starting Monday, and can't wait for church tomorrow. We've been talking about I Love My Church a month that we're in. Ta-da! And I love seeing all the posts of people that have them in their yard and everything like that and whatnot. So it's really cool. You know, there's some crazy things that are going on right now, and I've been debating whether to say anything, because we really, you know, there's some people out there that say I'm not trying to be controversial, I'm not trying to start anything, but yeah, you are. You're really trying to start something. I like eye to eye, face to face. I don't know how many times I post things or type things to post on social media and delete it.
Just don't be on social media.
You do not realize
and just
how much that is
people.
true. I have to stay off of it, but
Right.
with everything that's kind of come out the last few days, I'm going to touch this one thing, and then I'm going to get off of it, because the instant flare up over the last a little over 24 hours is talking about racism. Has racism been a part of our culture? Absolutely. Is racism wrong in every sense of the word? Absolutely. But I think we got to stop screaming it at everything. The bottom line is, and if you haven't seen it, let me know what rock you live under, and I may come join you. About the president, the White House, portraying something that was racist. It's very easy in our diverse culture right now. You look at it, so many issues are 50-50. We're a divided nation. There's no way around that. We are. And we're grappling with who we want to be as a country right now. Do I believe what was displayed on the video was inappropriate? Sure. Do I believe that you know, stuff like that is not for that arena? Absolutely. You cannot, let me clarify, you cannot accidentally be a racist. You cannot accidentally post a racist comment. You cannot accidentally post anything. You're either a racist or you're not. It's a hard issue. Like where we are now, if I'm watching a funny, and we've had some with all the snow and ice and different things like that. So if I'm watching a white guy wipe out on the ice and I'm laughing, nobody thinks anything about it. But in our culture right now, if a black guy falls and wipes out and we start laughing about it, you're a racist. That's not racism. Okay? I'm telling you right now, I have left a few of my imprints on the ground through the years and have had people laughing. I took a wipe out one time at a church, and my clerk came up to me and said, "The greatest thing about my day is that I was here in time to see that." Right? But we ladies and gentlemen, we gotta untie the strings a little bit. If you walk around all the time and your guitar strings are always stretched to the max, you're gonna pop them. Yeah. And I'm disappointed in the way a lot of people just there is no innocent till proven guilty. There is no let's take time to investigate. on every issue, not just that, but on everything. It's like everybody's instant to judge. In our culture, where things are going on with ICE, people on one side are instant to judge ICE law enforcement as murderers, and people on the other side are instantly calling people that are protesting domestic terrorists. And there's no investigations. There's no taking the time to let the truth be known. It's just everybody comes out guns a-blazing. And this same thing happening from the White House yesterday, where people are just coming, or was it today? I don't know, my days are mixed up, but it is yesterday. But where people are coming out and screaming racism out of the White House and racism from the president and all that kind of stuff like that. Not even thinking about the fact that in that video, and yeah, I disagree with the video wholeheartedly, but it's an old video from back like in 2020, and everybody was in it. Trump was on an animal. Biden was on an animal. Clinton were on an animal. Everybody was on an animal. I don't. You can't do that and it be racism unless you're purposefully trying to be racist. And I think everybody just needs to back up a little bit, and withhold judgment, and don't bring down the hammer until things have come out. So we've heard a lot of things over the last 24 hours of the video and all those kind of things like that I think probably could have ended some of it. And I've got dear friends, people that I highly regard and respect, that have been on Facebook and posted tirades and everything like that. And I don't think that's healthy. I don't think that's a good look for the church. I don't think it's... Do we call out things when we need to call out things? Absolutely. But can we not be the ones to rush to judgment?
A lot of us have things in our closet that we never want out, and so many of us are so quick to share other people's things that they don't want shared. Maybe we need to check ourselves before we do anything on social media. I
think so, and I'm not saying any of this to try to throw my weight around in the subject and everything. And I'm honestly not trying to stir the pot or anything like that. I personally believe that you're either racist or you're not. I remember growing up, now where we grew up, it was not very diverse. Our little town, when we grew up, there was like 6 African Americans, 6 black people in our entire community. One of them happened to be one of my best friends. He was in our wedding and everything, and he actually moved there from Arkansas to try to date one of the girls that was there. Never understood how all that came down. They're somehow associated with the church and things along those, and not our church, but the church he had been affiliated with, and we became good friends in school and everything like that, and that was the extent of it. So there wasn't a lot of this in our community. Way different where we are now, where we're the minority, and but even then, we don't walk around, and you see it and you hear it every now and again, but you don't have a whole lot of this is racist, that's racist, and all those kind of things, even in the place where we are, where there is such a huge diversity difference. And I think that before anybody accuses something of racism, I think there actually needs to be racism there. And I know there's all of those that debate on whether our political leaders are racist or they're not. I understand that, and I'm not trying to throw. I do believe no matter whether the president knew that it was on there, he said he didn't, and I trust people until they've given me a reason about any situation not to. But I still think apology would be good. That I apologize that I didn't catch that part of it.
If he even posted it, who knows?
Well,
you don't know because you don't know.
Yeah, what came out today is that he had watched it, but he hadn't watched it all the way through. And I've seen some talk about how the buck stops with him, and I've seen pastors and everything like that. But brothers and sisters, there are none of you that are running a big church as big as a country. Okay, sometimes things slip through the crack, and this is my final thing. When in the world did it become that you are not allowed to make a mistake? You're not allowed to make a mistake. If you make a mistake, let's say he watched part of it and said, "Yeah, that looks really good. Let's post it," and then it comes out later, and you see that there was something there that was not intended, whatever. And someone come out and said, "We apologize." From what I've heard, and I don't know, and I don't want to stir the pot, but it was a staffer that put it on there. Supposedly, the staffer's been relieved of their duties, which I don't have a problem with at all. That whoever was responsible for viewing that, and yes, as a pastor, I've had people that I've had to deal with situations and circumstances. I've always told my staff That if you're having an issue or you got to deal with something, when you come and talk to me about it, you say, Pastor, I'm having an issue, having a situation here. This is how I feel like I need to handle it. And if I agree with you and you go and you try to handle it and it comes back and maybe the people that you're having to deal with or the person you're having to deal with don't accept it and it comes back on you, you came to me first, I'll have your back. But if you just decide to take it on your own, that you're just going to do something and you tackle it and it comes back to bite, I always tell people, not only will I throw you under the bus, I'll be driving the bus that runs you over. So do we really honestly believe that the President of the United States, a governor, a mayor of a city, can micromanage everything that the different ones are throwing at them and putting out there, whether it be Donald Trump or whether it be Barack Obama or anybody else? There's no way they can govern everything and watch everything and go through everything. I think that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my entire life. But at the end of the day, I do agree that, coming out and telling, and maybe they will, maybe they're doing what I'm telling we all need to do. Maybe they're investigating it. Maybe and if it's true that whoever posted out there that failed miserably in putting that out there in the president's name or the White House's name or anything like that, was relieved of their duties, great. Absolutely wonderful. Maybe they're reserving the judgment until they've investigated, found out exactly what happened, and then tell us, we'll see. We'll see in the days to come. I hope that that's what's going on. But ladies and gentlemen, we have to allow one another to make mistakes. We have to allow and I agree, come back and say, hey, made a mistake, made a blunder, it wasn't intentional. I think apology would be great. In the midst, whether he was over it or not, after all, it was one of his staff people, even if it was one of his staff people that did it. I heard a pastor friend of mine, actually he's an overseer now, that said, I've apologized for times for staff of things that I did not do. I agree with that. Not a problem with that. But I think from now on, if the church can withhold their judgment. Back years ago, there was an artist, a big time music artist that had supposedly accepted Christ. Made a Christian album, and I saw all the people in the churches praising it and all this kind of stuff like that. And I was asked, what do you think about this situation? And I'm like, I'm going to reserve judgment. I'm not judging whether they've accepted Christ or not, don't know. But as we always say, we're fruit inspectors. I said, I'm going to withhold putting him in heaven or sending him to hell, which we can't do anyway, until we see some things here. And he's as bad today as he ever was, and no longer making Christian albums and no longer professing Christ and all this kind of stuff like that. And we had people even in our hierarchy of our movement that was praising him and everything for what. And I don't mean that in praising in a bad way, but just commending him, maybe be a better word, about it. I think, well, now it's all seemingly for naught. Can we just wait? Can we just calm everything down and just wait until things are investigated, things are discovered, and we can make the decisions on what to do after we know the truth?
Another thing that we really face is, if I don't agree with you, I am the worst person
absolutely.
on the face.
How could you not agree with me?
I'm gonna knock you out. But that's it's reality. If
true.
You don't agree with somebody,
it's true.
You're the worst person. You should not have any say in anything.
And that's one of the big reasons why I like this.
We can't disagree with somebody. You like the color blue. I like it too, but do I want to wear it every day? No. You're not even wearing blue.
I'm not wearing any blue. I don't know where that
But do we have to fight about it? There's literal fights about everything.
It's true.
That does not matter.
It's true.
It does not matter. In the grand scheme of things, it does not matter. We'll fight about what we're going to eat.
Oh, now that's worth fighting for.
To me, if I want something to eat, I'm going to share what I want. If something is like, I want something in particular, I will say, let's do this. I wanted meatloaf the other day. That's what we had.
We had meatloaf.
We had meatloaf. Yeah. Do I care if we have anything else? No. If I say I don't care, look, I really don't care. I don't care if I have soup, if I have bacon, if I have a taco. I don't care. But sometimes that is the biggest fight and the biggest argument we can have as not only a family, but as a church.
Mm-hmm.
We will fight over where we're going to go eat, and
it used to be for us real easy.
It does not matter. So we can argue and fight and argue about stupid stuff that does not matter. Why do we do that?
It was that May was our foodie. So we had actually got to the point to where we would say, what does everybody want to eat? And everybody would, we don't care. It doesn't matter. May, what do you want? And she usually would say exactly what she wanted. Well, she's gotten out of where she's not our foodie as much. She's gotten going through that picky stage. So sometimes we don't even get that. But I think one of the biggest things too, and for me, I've contemplated posting some of my feelings about this situation. But if I were going to do it, I would do it as a video recording. I'm an advocate I'm anti-typing anything. I don't like email. I don't like text message. I don't like online. Anything like that where you're dealing with an issue like this, because family, let's remember, words are absolutely hollow. Words are only interpreted by the person that is reading them. It doesn't matter how the person who is writing it feels when they pen it. It is only open for the interpretation of the one who reads it. And that's why I don't like it. If I'm going to have to voice my opinion, or if I'm going to have to deal with a situation, at the least, it's a phone call. If at all possible, it's a face-to-face. We're going to talk about this. Come meet me, sit. If I can't, you live halfway across the country, we're going to talk on the phone. Because I want you to be able, and hopefully by video, I want you to be able to see my face and hear my voice. Because words, you can't do that. Words are hollow. They mean nothing. You can text someone an apology and it means absolutely nothing to them if that person doesn't feel like it's sincere. Yeah. You may have wrote it as sincere as you know how. It's simply open for the interpretation of the reader. And that's why when you get this floodgate of social media stuff, and everybody typing their thing, and then you start reading it, and I mean, people are just lambasting one another. I mean, just insult. We have pastors insulting one another's integrity. We have overseers being insulted and insulting others. We have, and it looks like and sounds like everybody has to be right. Yeah. And the problem is, we can't be right until we know what happened. There's no way to be right about anything until you know what happened.
If you don't agree with me, you're wrong, and that's terrible. Yeah. That's the worst thing you can do.
And you're horrible if you disagree with me.
You're going to hell because you don't agree with me. Yeah. Really, people? Really?
I don't.
Really?
One of the reasons
it's local. It's not just on Facebook. It's local people. It is in the streets. It's in the newspaper. It's not just a worldwide thing. It's a family thing too. I mean, there's family members that will argue and fight over stupid stuff. There's no reason to fight over it. But you're right, your words can make or break how people react to it. I mean, there's a difference between saying we need to go clean our room, or you never clean your room. There's a difference. Yeah. I mean, there's a difference in your tone of voice, and difference in your delivery, difference in everything. And if you just write that, nobody can really read it how you feel about it. So you're right on that.
And I don't know that even in our best intentions, the church was doing justice by. And I'm not sure why. I mean, in the desire to call out something that many I've seen African American people come. I was reading some just today that said, "How could anybody think that was racist?" Because of all because it was just shown one picture for the most part, and if you were to just take a look at that for face value, a person may think that,
especially an older one.
Yeah, our daughter, for instance, told me last night. She said, "I asked Mom, I said, what's the problem with this? Well, why?" She didn't understand Because she
Because
saw
we
she
never
saw the
taught
video.
her.
She saw the video of everything that was going on. A
Right.
bunch of different politicians being portrayed on animals.
Right.
And so she was trying to figure out why this was a problem.
Because we did not teach her about being racist. We never taught her to be racist.
Right.
That's
right,
not a thing that we've taught, because we're not. And so unless you've got that in your heart, you really
exactly.
You
That's
don't
what I
really
go
teach
back
it.
to. You can. So growing up, and still now, I do not even feel comfortable saying they said the N-word. I mean, I've never said the word,
Yeah.
but I feel like right now I feel uncomfortable just referencing the N-word. But where I work, they'll call one another that all the time.
Yeah.
And I mean it's common speak. I'm talking about our black students. They refer to one another with like that. It's as easy as breathing for them. And so I'm trying to figure out if it's so derogatory. Well, so like I said, man, if I would have ever said that, my parents would have ever heard, I might have already been with Jesus. But it's commonplace for them, and I understand there's things that inside of our culture that we say. I'll every now and again, with a friend. Well, I call her Hobbit, but that has nothing to do with race. But well, I guess it could. But like cracker, is what white, and it's not near as bad as the N-word. But there's times that I might use that in a joking manner. But I think for me, what we're doing, if we're not careful, is that in order to try to call out something that is horrible, which racism is. We label things as racist that's not. Okay, is the video in bad taste? Well, probably if you're a Democrat, yeah. If you're a Republican, they may not care. And I don't know. Like I said, this was from years ago. Do I like that kind of behavior from our league? No, of course not. But on the flip side of that, when you step into the political arena, if you don't like having your name ran through the mud and everything there is, every skeleton you got in your closet brought out and all that kind of stuff like that, getting into the political arena is when I got elected to an office before we moved here to South Carolina. And I had to deal with some things about some of the board members and some different ones, and we had to talk about whether things were slander or not. And I was in essence told, once you get into elected office, there is no such thing as slander. Basically, the gloves are off. Do I believe that our grown adults that are supposedly governing this country should behave the way they do? I do not. There are moments that I've looked and said, what would be great is if we could have a complete do-over. Send every last one of them home and do over. But I don't know if the American people could handle that, because we get a chance to do that every election cycle. If you don't like what you see, we have to vote in new people. But there have been people that have been in office in Washington, D.C. since Noah came over.
So it was at least in my lifetime.
And that's never how the forefathers meant it to be. I pray like everything, and they won't do it probably because the people that have to vote it in are the people that are going to vote themselves out of office. Term limits should be a must. Okay, this is not a political thing. But I'm just saying we all have our opinions. We all have our thoughts. The great thing that's always been about America is that we've always been allowed to have our thoughts and our opinions without the hate. And I'm not talking about things about like racism and stuff like that. There's no place for that.
Right.
If you're a racist, you have a terrible heart. Whether you're a white against other or blacks against whites or Hispanics, it doesn't matter. If you judge people, all people, based on their race, nationality, or whatever, you have a bad heart, dirty heart, and racism is horrible. I just don't know that even with that video, if that was the intention. And you can't have racism without the intention of being racist. You can't be, oh, I was accidentally a racist today. If there's no intent from the individual, if I wanted to post, my buddy Randy, if I wanted to post a picture to him with him on a baboon's body, it's not a racist thing unless I'm doing it to be racist. You can't accidentally be a racist. You have to purpose it in your heart to do something. So unless even the person that posted it, was it bad taste? Absolutely. Should they have done it? No. There should not be a place for that. But does it go to the level of racism? No, not in my opinion, unless they were intentionally trying to be racist.
And you don't know their heart.
And we don't know their heart. Maybe they were just stupid in that moment.
The thing about it is, there's only one race, and that's the human race.
That's right. That's right. And are we ever going to be
Red,
rid
yellow,
of it?
black, and white?
Probably not. But
Or all.
But I think the church needs to be the one. God is a God of justice. Yeah. But God's word also says that things should be investigated. Yeah. There's one more, and I promise we'll try to move on.
We almost may be done. I don't know.
If you do not do your due diligence and you spread a lie, you're a liar.
Liar, liar.
And the Bible says all liars will have their place. If you accuse somebody of being evil or a racist or anything along those lines, and they are not, that's slander and a lie. And we need to be careful, ladies and gentlemen, on all sides, that we stop accusing everybody of the worst atrocities without having any evidence that that's what was intended. You know, let's show compassion and love, and I agree on the flip side of that if something is done, even on your watch, maybe you didn't do it, because there's no way a person in Donald Trump's position or the president's position that they can cycle through everything. There's just that's an unacceptable request. That's why people get paid to do that. And if someone let one through like this happens, then I don't know if it even rises to the merit of them being fired, unless they did it because of racism. If they did it because of racism, you shouldn't have a seat at the table. Could it be family? Could it be friends? Was it just a mistake? Well, are we so far gone that person couldn't come up and say, I humbly apologize that I did not do my due diligence to watch this all the way through before I put the president's seal on it and posted it out there for everyone to see? Does that person even deserve to lose their job? Even in the heightened culture that we're in now, where there's so much anger, there's so much bitterness, there's so much frustration, can we not look at someone who would say, I'm so sorry that my intention was never meant to be there. I did not catch it. I did not do my job to the fullest, and I did not catch it. Are we not still a people of forgiveness? That we could not look at that person and say, don't ever